I can't believe you guys. Did you think that I didn't see this in the last episode? Come on now. I left that there just to test you guys and you failed me miserably. I'm so disappointed. How can you do this to me? Don't you ever leave that like that. So ugly, so nasty. Why? Why? Tell you what, leaving a dirt block there underneath that thing that's smooth as stone in the... Yellow internet friends, what's going on? Spartan Overdrive back in Hybridcraft, the Minecraft Let's Play where we like to do all the things. And today, the thing we're going to keep doing is build, baby. We got this thing in the background. This thing has been a massive undertaking, way more than I realized. I have been working my booty off, but it is basically a city within the city. I think it's going to be amazing when we get it done. In fact, you can kind of see a little bit. Can I do a little trick here? Can I do a zoom in like that? Look at that. Look at my pretty face. Well, look over my shoulder there. You can kind of see I've got a couple roofs put on. I've got a couple things detailed out. And I'm going to show you all that. We hit it up in the live stream. You guys gave me some awesome ideas. I'm going to review with everybody just in case you missed it. And then we're going to get into it. We're going to finish this bad boy off. I'm going to do whatever it takes this episode. I hope that doesn't mean the episode's going to be delayed, but I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get this thing finished finally. But let me show you something else first. Okay, guys, hold on. Let me get out of F5. Let me go into the right screen here. And also, by the way, we got a poll we got to do at the beginning of every episode, don't we? This episode, the poll that I want to ask you guys, the poll I want to know about is, does it look better? And you know what I'm talking about. Don't act like you don't. Nah, I'm just joking. You have no idea what I'm talking about. Long story short, I realized I might actually be able to record in 1080p after all. I'm giving it a shot. I hope it works. You guys let me know, please. Yes or no in the poll in the upper right hand corner. Does it look any better or does it not? I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping you can tell a difference. I never could tell a difference, but the other day I just happened to see some blurriness, and ever since then I haven't been able to unsee it. But the other thing I want you guys to see is, look at this smooth ride. We finally got it figured out. Oh my goodness. I got all the kinks worked out of this thing finally. I didn't know if it was ever going to happen, guys, but I spent some time off camera after the last episode, and I made sure all this stuff was connected up down in the underbelly of the world down below us here, and it is all finally connected smoothly, riding smooth both directions. I'm so excited about that. So we finally got all of our animated moving parts fixed up and ready to go for the world download. Now we just got to fix up a few other things. I really hope I can get to all of it. I think the next major thing I need to work on is this area over here with the storage situation going on. I really need to get that worked out, but there's going to be a lot to that. So I don't know if I'll finish that completely, especially the build around it, because I want to make a pretty big detailed build around that as well. Just like the one we're doing today, which is taking us, this is episode number 3. I really don't like doing the same thing over and over like that, but I'm actually enjoying it, and I really want to get this thing said and done with. So as you can see, I have added a roof right here. This is going to take a minute, guys. This is I called one of the episodes complex, I think, and for me, this is complex. It's going to take a minute to kind of weave and bob around here and show you all the things, but the idea is this place is a bit of a maze. Now, I'm not done. I've got detail galore to add everywhere still, but this section here is almost finished, and as you can see, we got the clock tower in the background, and then in the foreground, we got a couple little things. We got a tall building there, a little less tall building here. I think that would be called shorter. Yes, I think that's the word we're looking for, and we come through here. This was all done before last time. Oh, and I think I forgot to point this out to you guys. This is the little wishing well area that you guys mentioned I should have in the center here. I agree. I think it came out all right. It couldn't be very big because we limited space here. But let's talk about the builds, and then we'll talk about the ideas you guys gave me, because I'm pumped about it. I'm excited. A lot of fun. If I do this right here, if I back up over here and then look up there, oh my goodness, look at that. That looks like it's pretty much finished, isn't it? I think it almost is. And if we come around here, look at this. Now we're going to have a roof on a lot of these places don't have roofs on them yet. They don't have details, but as you can see, this is what I'm talking about. Look at that height there. This height here, it's all a little bit different. If we come around over here, this height's a little bit lower. That roof is actually finished. So you got some overlap with one roof over another. And like I said, we got layer upon layer here, and we're going vertical with it. It's not just depth. like we've done in the past, like here, like this building here is recessed behind this building a little bit. That kind of depth with the 2 layers for every wall, that looks beautiful in my opinion. But now we're taking it to that next level, literally the next level. I'm on level 2 already. What are we talking about? Literally, we're on this next level, right? We're going up, 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 and I want that height variation to stick with us. So like I said, that one's a little bit taller. We got a 3rd floor on it. This one's only got the 2nd floor here, and we got a 3rd floor there. That one's going to be low down. I'm going to keep it as a low building there, and then we're going to go a little higher up here, and then this one will be possibly the highest one. And look at that detail, by the way. I think that turned out pretty good. Now, one thing I'm going to point out here, some of you guys are going to hate it. Some people don't even like the detail that I put in. It's a lot of detail. I get it. It's busy. It's messy, all that good stuff. But either you're going to come around to it or you're just not going to want to watch my stuff because that's not what you're into. And if that's the case, you're probably already not watching it. So I'm not too offended. But what something I'm going to point out here is something that kind of bothers me, but I'm kind of having to overlook is where these roof lines overlap here. It's going to create a little bit of an awkward situation every now and then. Look how tight this stuff is, right? I actually like this. This is the goal for me in this building anyway. It's not appropriate everywhere. But I think in this build, the whole idea is this is just a maze. It's a complex structure and everything's built on top of each other. And I think having those tight corridors works for us in that way. And then same thing with these roofs. It's going to overlap in front of that. I think there's a good example here that I thought was a little bit troublesome at first when I first saw it, but then it turned out okay. This one right here, see how that roof line, it butts right up against this. Can I zoom in? There's a window right there and it's looking out at that roof line, but it peeks around it just a little bit. You know what? I think that's actually fairly realistic for these tight corridor type buildings. So I'm cool with it. Now, let me show you something else. We got that 3rd floor, right? How are we going to get to it? Well, we've got a stairwell over there, but I'm not going to create another balcony to get over there from here. That was one option. The other option was I needed to build a stairwell over here, right? And I was debating about it. I was like, how am I going to do this? And it looked good. Well, here's what we did. We're just going to use this clock tower because why not, right? So I've got a stairwell now and it goes all the way down to the bottom. So this is now another additional way to actually come up into this complex here is you can actually go up through the clock tower itself. So like I said, we want to make this as complicated as we can. I think this would be fun to do maybe some PvP kind of stuff because you can hide out all kinds of places, right? Nooks and crannies. We're all about those nooks and crannies. I need to put a door in here still, of course, but this comes down inside of what was going to be a building right here. Still will be, but I just added up another wall here, and that way you can go this way into your apartment over here, or you can go this way into this apartment, and look what it does. Can I squeeze through a door, please? Thank you. Apartment 13. We got 13 apartments, places for you guys to move into here. We got another balcony on top of a balcony. Man, did I say we were going to have layers upon layers, or did I? It is crazy, but that's how you get up to this final top floor over here. And yeah, I'm digging it, guys. I think it is coming along pretty nicely. Now look, I'm already getting lost. Look at this, up and down all over the place. I'm getting lost in my own build, and to me, that spells success because that's exactly what I was looking for. I want it to be as crazy as it can be. But here's the deal. This is why it's taken so long, because there is a lot going on here. I'm filling almost every single space up with something, right? And but I like it. I think it's pretty good. Now let's talk quickly about the ideas that you guys gave me in the live stream. There were some really good ones. We're always trying to come up with different careers because we want each and every one of the buildings in our area. And this is going to be more appropriate for a lot of the other builds, like the cactus farm there, for example. Somebody farms that, right? Somebody should work there. And the person who works there and who owns this place is probably the same person who's going to have a flower shop. And I'm going to put that right here. We're going to put some automated machinery kind of stuff in there, but we're going to hide it so it doesn't look like machines. And we're going to put some of our flower farms in there, and we're going to actually make a place to sell flowers. But the person who owns this needs a place to live, right? So we got 13 apartments back here. They can live in one of these places or any one of the other houses that we build in our world. So the idea is I'm always trying to come up with actual real life careers that fit this Minecraft world and the blocks that we have. We want to have a career for every block, basically. So speaking of careers and blocks and all that stuff that we want, we got some ideas. Remember how I mentioned this was kind of a back alleyway? and how it was going to be kind of the seedy underbelly. Well, I think we've got some really good suggestions. When I mentioned seedy underbelly, everybody came up with some good stuff. It's going to be a sketchy black marketplace. There could be a loan shark that works back here, and then a used block dealer. I love that. A used block dealer. Hilarious. So we got all these blocks in the game. Somebody's going to be a used block dealer. We're going to have to come up with some way that actually makes sense. Now, I don't know where this is going to lead yet. This is probably not going to be finished because we're going to have to put like a basement area in there. It may lead into some sewer areas. I'm not sure. I think that'd be pretty cool, but we'll work on that later. But if you guys have any more ideas or suggestions for this kind of stuff, what kind of careers would make sense in the game of Minecraft that could also be somewhat real life as well? We've got an accountant. Everybody needs an accountant, right? As much as you may not want one, you got to do taxes and stuff like that, right? We got an explosion store where we're going to have a creeper shopkeeper. How fantastic is that? I love it. I love it. Now we'll have actual real people. You viewers will actually live in these places. We will decorate them out. We will put armor stands with all of your belongings on it, your skin and all that good stuff. And we will put you to work in the world, and you will choose one of these career paths. So keep in mind, what kind of thing do you want to be in here? This is just another store, another storefront shop situation going on over here. But I haven't decided exactly what's going to be there yet. None of that stuff's going to happen this episode. I just kind of want to give you ideas of some of the stuff that we've come up with already. This is going to be a clothing store, for example. We've got, in fact, I might make this be a little bit smaller. I might divide this in two, and then we can have a secondary store over there. But yeah, so as you can see, it's really coming together, guys. I'm really digging it. My favorite view right now, my favorite view is we come in this little alley here. I love this, by the way. I love this kind of thing in real life. I'm talking about in Minecraft, it's fantastic too. But in real life, when you kind of go in behind a building like this, love it to death. It's so cool. But you look up here and see all these different height variations. I'm digging it, guys. So I'm going to work on it. This is going to take me on. I've been working on this a long time already. I've got a full night ahead of me. So guys, while I'm working, you think of good, fun ideas, funny or just realistic ideas of different job opportunities we can have in this place. And if you're active in the community, on the Discord, in the live streams, or just on the videos, wherever you can be involved, then we will make sure you get a chance to move into this world. You can come play on this on a server or something and make it your own home. You will be forever in this world. So I think that'll be pretty fun, guys. We've already got a few. Here's a Legion down here. Look at him hammering away on his anvil. Mr. Blacksmith, a Legion. All right, guys, let me get to work. I'll come back with you in just a moment. And after one serious long jump cut of about 2 days, we are finished, people. We are finished. Oh my goodness. Look at this place right here. Let's talk about it, guys. Let's talk about some of the details that we did. A lot of this you've already seen. A lot of it is new. And I really wanted to spend a lot of time this episode talking about all the different details and everything and showing you guys some stuff. Unfortunately, like I said, it has been 2 days, 16 hours of this stuff. I have been really focused because my goal was to complete it. I made a promise and I intend to keep it, and I did. However, it's not going to leave a lot of time for any block and talk or any cool time lapses or anything like that. So let me kind of breeze over this. Let me show you some things. Don't worry if we don't have time for all of it today. Of course, the download will be accessible in just a few episodes for you to come and explore on your own. But this view right here, I am really digging. This truly is a city within a city. It's basically a medieval residential castle, kind of. I mean, it's not a castle, but the time and the effort and the work that went into it, I think it basically ended up being that way. Tons of detail. But anyways, guys, hopefully you like it. I would love to hear what you guys think, the things that you want me to focus on as far as teaching, or what kind of stuff you think I could improve upon. I'm always game to hear that. Now, I tried to go with a medieval style. We've talked about that. So if you look down at the bottom here, it comes out a level here, and then it comes out a level here, and then we've got that little bit of a recess there. I forgot what these are called. That little, the roof part that comes out that adds an extra story to it. But yeah, anyways, it comes out a little bit each time. We've talked about this in past episodes. We talked about, I actually ended up doing a tutorial on the detail that I do in the walls here. And basically the trick to doing this is just spam, man. Block spam the mess out of this. Just place blocks. Seriously, that's what I do. I just get some stairs, I get some slabs, I get some trap doors and a few other little odds and ends, and I just start placing them down and seeing what it looks like. And before you know it, you got something that looks kind of cool, and you can just kind of repeat the pattern. And I change it up here and there. We'll review some of those things. As you can see over here on this one, we've got the tallest structure here, which I think is exactly where I pointed out I was going to put it. And so let's talk about all the different layers here. We're going to do a lot of talk about vertical layers, because you guys know I'm a big fan of the horizontal layers, but let's start heading that way. Let's walk that way. We're not doing the block and talk. Maybe we'll do a little bit of walk and talk this episode as we head that direction. But before we go too much further, I do want to hang out at this view. We'll take a little shortcut here. I want to look at this view a little bit longer because over here you can kind of see what I'm talking about. It goes out and up. It goes out and up. And I didn't do that everywhere. In fact, the next one over, can I go back down here and show you guys? This one over here, in the back, it goes out and up right here, but at the top, it goes back in. So, you know, again, I don't know how realistic this is to like true to life medieval architecture. But it definitely takes inspiration from that. And that's the whole idea, because this is a fantasy world. We're taking inspiration from real life, but we're not sticking to it strictly. We're doing what looks best for this. In fact, my very first episode, I took a house that was in real life that I really enjoyed and liked. I put it into the game. I built it exactly block by block, the best I could to represent exactly what it looks like in real life. And then I changed it, and it looks better when it's not exactly what it was in real life, when you make a couple minor changes. So that's what we did here for the medieval style. It's medieval, but it's changed to look good in our little fantasy world. This part here we did in a live stream, and I actually showed it in the video at the beginning of the episode, but forgot to point it out. This stairwell right here used to be brick, and I realized that it blended in. It doesn't make sense. That's not like me. Let's change the texture out. So that's what I did right here, and that has actually made a big difference. It'd probably help if I had a before and after shot to show you guys. And then let's go up here and look at the changes we made up here. We have a lot of apartments, and I'm going to start renaming these because I got so many I lost count. We're going to count them up, and this is a great thing because this is going to provide us all the different living spaces we need for the people that have the occupations in this world, which is fantastic. And by the way, I think I forgot to point this out earlier. This flower shop that's down here that I referenced at the beginning of the episode, this was a great idea because we got this magic flower forest biome. Flora Springs over here is our state park, or whatever you want to call it. And it makes sense to have one of these. Who would not take advantage of that, right? Somebody's going to make a business out of that. So they're gonna do that right here probably, or one of these shop locations. So now we're on the second floor, and we've got apartment number 1. I think I've shown a lot of these to you already, but we're going to take a quick little glance at them. I've got every apartment has a different floor layout. When you go to buy a house in real life, you don't want the cookie cutters. You want something that's uniquely yours, right? And this one I really like because, again, look at this vertical variation we got going on over here. We got to step up to go to this little lofted space here. Not a big loft, but a little bit of one. We've got the windows going out. We got this window down here, goes all the way to the floor. It may not make a lot of sense, but you know what? This kind of stuff exists in real life. It's called a transium window. I think that's what it's called. I'll remember some of these words, but not all of them. Maybe the kitchen goes back here. Who knows? But it's a little place here. Now, you guys come into the world. Whoever picks this out, you can totally redesign the inside however you want. But I started giving you guys some ideas. Oops, this axe is way too good. I started giving you guys some ideas with the layout as far as some of the walls and the flooring and stuff like that. So just some ideas for you guys when you come in the world. And also, if you guys want to implement any of these floor plans in whatever world you guys have. This one's one big open space. Of course, we can put up some divider walls, stuff like that. This is the idea, I think, for the flower shop eventually. I don't know if we will do that there or not, but this door here, same thing, just goes straight back and kind of takes advantage of windows everywhere that I could. They're in kind of odd shapes from the interior, but again, that's kind of true to life. This is the little cubby that goes into nothing right now. We'll have to make something for that later. And then this view that you guys have already seen that I love, and oh my goodness, look at it now. we are finished with it at this point. And look at all the horizontal and vertical specifically for this build. This build was to challenge myself for the vertical variation that we see here. You got a big roof line up here, then it goes down, and then it goes right back up to the tallest peak there, back down and around, down a little further and back up. All of that stuff, man, that's the kind of detail. What happened to this right here? What happened to this? Well, distracted me. I tell you what, I don't know how it happened, but we're going to fix it right now on camera, people. We're going to make it right. There we go. I don't know how that happened, but we fixed it because that's what we do. Anyways, guys, let's get back to the exploring. I think we've explored everything down here. I'm not going to go through all these builds again. We've got this back alleyway here that leads up. We've already seen these before, but now I have them finished out as far as the floor paths go. Or the floor paths, why am I saying these words? The floor layout, I think that's the word I'm looking for. But anyways, we came in here and you can see basically what I've done is I've added a few features here to kind of make that look better. We added this here. Anytime I could, if I had a nook underneath a stairwell, I figured we'd take advantage of that. That's true to real life. People put storage under those places. And then you can walk up here. Again, notice the vertical variation here. That's probably not the right term here, but basically that's the term I'm going to keep using because that's the one I keep thinking of. But you got this here, man. This is one of these $1 million views, man. Somebody would pay a pretty penny for this loft. It's pretty nice. You got this nice outdoor space here, and you've got maybe a bedroom up here or something, and then you've got a whole area downstairs if I can get down there, or maybe the rest of your living space, which is pretty cool indeed. This one over here, I don't think has anything super unique. Yeah, it's just this same layout as before. Oh, we did not finish the ceiling in here. That's something I'm gonna have to do. There's probably lots of little things, maybe a few windows I missed here and there. Yeah, we'll get to those. Got that little archway there that we come out to that I absolutely adore. It's precious. I absolutely love it. What have we seen over? I think we've seen everything over here. Let's look in this. I think we definitely saw in here already. That's what this place looks like here. This is a pretty good size for this one here. And then this one here ended up being kind of funky. I think I showed you guys this. This is a technique that I like. Let me break this down and show you. Make use of every block space that you can. This right here is the very first. If we go out here, this is the first apartment right on this side here. And the wall came in at a weird angle. It did a weird thing because we got another apartment over here and they joined up in a weird way where we basically ended up with this extra space here. And I could have filled that in, but instead of filling it in, what we'll end up doing is we'll put a door right there and it'll be another little hidey hole closet space where you can store a chest with some goodies or something like that. So yeah, make use of every little space like that you can. All right, what's next up in this maze of a complex structure here? This place here is the place we broke into just a second ago through that wall. And we ended up with a little bit of a strange shape here, but I really like it. You could make a room right here that's cut off from the rest of the rooms. You could make maybe a bedroom back there or something. Then you got like a loft space up here like I've been doing everywhere. Something that I noticed every time I put in a ceiling somewhere, it ended up giving us extra room where I've actually gained extra apartments because of the roof. There's plenty of space up there to put something, and I love that arch like that. I mean, this is a great space here too. I mean, people pay for those really high ceilings like that, so that's pretty nice. Now we're on the second floor, right? And then we went into this little loft down here, and it had a third floor. It had a balcony to it that we went upstairs. Well, this up here, this is basically the fourth floor. We got a patio, a balcony up here that we're going to go to, and this is basically the only way to get into this place. Their front door is in the back, essentially, is what's going on. But we got this another use of vertical space here. We raise and lower this a little bit, and of course, I'm missing windows here. I knew I was somewhere. But then we put some beams up in the ceiling here to make that look interesting. I like that. I think that's pretty cool. All right, so while we're up here, let's go ahead and take a look at these roofs because this is as good of a place as any. What I did, as you can see, is I went ahead and separated them all out by texture, and that way it gave indication that there is multiple buildings here butted up against each other. It's not just one big building, it's a bunch of them all pushed together, right? People on top of people on top of people, buildings on top of buildings. But you guys know that I do not like it. I mention it all the time. I'm not a huge fan of when textures butt up against each other. Now, sometimes you can't help it, but when you can, I like to always remedy that. So let me show you how I was able to do that. As you had noticed, I've got this this tile situation going here where I mess everything up. I love the look of that. It gives a lot more detail, but not only does it give me more detail, but it actually helps me with a few things. This right here was originally looking like that. These met up perfectly, and it didn't make sense because it felt like this was supposed to be one roof structure right here. I thought, well, now I'm going to have to change this to the same color, and then I ended up with a situation down there, and I'm like, no, I want these all to be different roofs. So I just left it like that and said, that's just one of those places I'm going to have to deal with it. But when I came back and started doing this roof variation like that, putting these tiles in, that allowed me to fix that. So that worked out pretty good for me. I don't know if you guys are on the same page as me with all that kind of stuff or not, but if you are, there's a flaming zombie. Get out of here, you zombie, you crazy man. This is a crazy on fire market over here. Let me tell you what, guys. Oh yeah, and something else I want to touch on here real quick. I mentioned how you have to come around here to the backside to get to this, right? I could have very easily figured out a way to put this entrance on the interior, just like all the others are. But I made it on the backside because it's so much more interesting to have to come up this stairwell, wrap around this way, and you get to see all this stuff on this side as well. And then when you're out there and you look back at this place, it just looks so much more interesting with this deck wrapped around it, right? So I think sometimes the key to making things look interesting and more detailed like this is just to do something in a way that isn't the easy way. Try to challenge yourself to do something in a little bit tougher of a way, and I think you end up with a lot of really cool, unique looking things and builds when you're all said and done. So let's go up on to the third floor on this side now. This used to be one big solid room inside that building, but I wanted a way to get out here to this apartment here. And so I created this little bridge here, and then I created this little corridor inside here that you have to then, go out there to. And when I did that, I was left with one big, huge room back here. It was too much for one apartment, but there was really no way to get to that other side. I thought, well, I'll just draw a line right down the middle and split it. That's what I did down here and a few other places. But there was no way to get to that apartment over there easily from that direction without messing up the view that you've got there. So what I did is I split it up in a really weird way. I went ahead and split it right here. As soon as you come in out of that corridor, you come into this one. In fact, you know what? This is pointless, isn't it? Let's do a little remodel on camera right here. This is totally pointless. This corridor can just be this size now. It doesn't need to be like that, does it? I'll fix the rest of this later. But yeah, now we can have a bigger corridor here. We could have like a sitting area out here or something. That might be nice. Yeah, we could totally do something like that. So yeah, so now you come out this here and you can go this way to get to the exterior back over to that apartment, or you can come over here. And by the way, these are the last two apartments, 15 and 16. We've got 16 apartments and 9 or 10 shops down below us, depending on how I decide to split them up. So yeah, we've got like what, 25 some odd buildings here in one. Yeah, it was an undertaking, let me tell you. But anyways, as we can see, we've got this corridor here and it leads into apartment 15 and 16. 16 actually takes up the most of this this floor here. It takes up almost every bit of it, and they've got a fantastic balcony out here as well. This is pretty nice. And also, oh, we can make it up there. I wasn't sure if we could. Let's get our interpol action out. Let's see if we can do a little something over here and see what would be a good angle. Let's see if we can get up here on BC's build. All right, good job, good job. Look at that right there. So this is another way to show some interest here. Instead of making the roof line come out here, which would have made us have a cool like L-shaped roof line, I would have liked that. But I think it's even cooler to have this piece here, which by the way doesn't have a bottom to it. Remember, it sticks out over the ground quite a ways there, and not have a roof on it either. Make it a deck and then recess it back. Again, this part here is probably not true to life at all for medieval times. But we're making it into our own style here, and now so you've got this height that's chopped off right here, and then it keeps going up. Instead of having the roof line carry out here and it all be the same height, now you've got a bunch of height variation here, which I think adds a lot of interest to the build. And we overthrew that, but that's okay. We still made it in, didn't we? All right, so this is pretty much it on this one. We can divide this up into a bunch of rooms if we want, make it all kinds of goodness. And then we go over here and, oh my goodness, what a small little apartment this is. Craziness. And there's nothing back there either but a closet. This is just basically an entryway. You could have a sitting room and you could destroy your floor like that. That was silly of me to do. This axe, I tell you, it's OP. But you come up here into the attic space. Like I said, when I added these roofs to these places, it essentially added an extra apartment space to each one of these. So I figured, let's make use of that. Let's make a stairwell that comes up here. And this is what we ended up with. And again, I used some height variation here to get ourselves up to this window. I had the same thing going on over here too, but this stairwell kind of ate into it, so I got rid of it. But yeah, that's pretty much it over here. And this here was a bit of a challenge for me to figure out how to get the stairwell in here and the secondary apartment here, knowing that I had an apartment there I didn't want to cut into either. So I think that ended up being okay the way that it worked out like that. All right, let's wrap up our tour from the air in creative mode. Let's take a little bit of a gander around all the sides because it's going to be a lot faster for us. As you can see, I went ahead and finished up the clock tower on all sides. Now that we've got all these buildings in place and I knew where exactly they were going to butt up against it, I think it turned out pretty good. I did a little bit of a different design on all these buildings, but I kept the same theme. They're all very, very similar. But here you can see 3 different layouts. We got Mr. Creeper visiting us. What in the world? He's probably applying for that Creeper shopkeeper position down there. He's at the right building. He's just on the wrong side. He's a little slow. You need to go around, Creeper. Go around the other side. I know, whatever. I don't know if we'll hire him. He doesn't seem to be all there. But anyways, we've got a design right here that's different than this design, but still kind of similar, right? And then we've got a design over here that's different than both of those. But we carried the theme of the windows and the doors throughout the whole thing. And so we've got some uniformity, but we've also got a lot of variation here. Now, this is something I did that's totally different than anywhere else. What I ended up with was a huge blank white wall. And because I'm not doing that anywhere, it looked out of place. And that window there was too high to have this archway that I've got over most of these windows. So I couldn't do that theme exactly. So what I ended up doing was this zigzag design. We created some diamond shapes here. And that's actually fairly true to life for a lot of these Tudor style homes. They had a lot of that stuff going on. But yeah, as you can see, this is the, look over here. This shows you how stacked up this place is. We've got a place here. We got a place right here beside it. Another one on top. Another one on top. This is the 4th story up here. But yeah, I don't really know what else I can point out to you guys. Just kind of touring around. I hope you liked it. I hope you got some inspiration out of it. If you did, I'd love to hear all about it. I'd love to see screenshots. You can always get at me in the Discord or on Twitter, of course. Guys, as always, until the next video, take it easy and keep it creative.